Why nobody can read anymore. People, what up? What's good? It's your boy TwoCentz. We are back here today. Very interesting topic video here from Mark Manson. Y'all see those in his hand? Do y'all know what those are? Those are called books, right? I understand, you know what I'm saying? The summer just started, right? A lot of y'all getting out of high school, getting out of college, right, for the year, but somehow you still don't know what a book is. Y'all, I don't know how that works. We got this topic about books today, topic about reading. What made me really want to discuss this, y'all, before we get into the video, was this man's Instagram account. If your algorithm is anything similar to mine, y'all have been getting pissed off by these note card videos, man. We gonna click on this first one. Her unwavering dedication became the epitome of perseverance and integrity, man. Let's see what bro is about. Let's see how he says it.
Her universal decision became the epitome of the perseverance and
you know what I mean? What's this one? The charcuterie board had scrumptious delicacies that dazzled the critics. Y'all see how I got to do the hand with it, right?
Read the index card.
Oh, you got me on this one. The charcuterie board, scrumptious, delicious, that dazzled the critics.
Read the index card.
Okay. The character board had scrumptious delicacies.
You know what I'm saying? These people are my age, y'all. They look about, you know what I'm saying, anywhere between 20 and 35. We gonna watch one more, then we're gonna get into the video. These are fun. The accumulation of misinformation contributed to widespread public misconceptions.
Read the index card.
Yeah.
Their reconciliation required extraordinary vulnerability and emotional accountability.
Well, reconciliation.
Read the index card.
The immaculation of misinformation combination to misspread public misconception.
He got misconceptions, y'all. Let's get into this, man. Let's get into it, bro.
You know, I used to be able to read big books, novels, biographies, weird philosophical stuff. It didn't matter. At one point, I read almost 100 books in a single calendar year. I even made a video about it. But lately, particularly in the last year or so, I've noticed that I just kind of don't read books. Well, actually, let me correct that. It's not that I've abandoned reading books entirely. It's just that I can't seem to finish a book to save my life. And I started to think, is this just me? So I started doing some research, and it turns out that it's bad.
Well, here's the thing. He's not reading because his attention span is fried. Which everyone's is, right? He can read though. A lot of these people not reading because they can't read. Forget the attention span. We don't, you guys. I don't understand. I don't understand this, and it's not even just some new Gen Alpha thing, right? I've met a lot of people my age and older. I'm 24 that literally cannot write their name, bro. They actually can't read. They can't write their name. They can't read simple instructions. What's your race? What does this say right here? Y'all, and that's not their fault. There's a lot going wrong. Hopefully he breaks it down, gets into it for real. But yeah, man, I mean, attention span is definitely a part of why we're not reading. But I don't think it's why nobody can read, right?
It's like really bad. In fact, it's so bad that college professors have recently stopped assigning full books in their curricula. Many professors say that new students can hardly handle a few pages of text without wanting a summary of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry for pausing. I know we just got into the video like 3 minutes in, bro, but the education system where kids, young adults, the place where people go to learn things, instead of helping the students learn how to read, they're taking away reading assignments. They're taking reading assignments out of the curriculum. Huh? You're supposed to be helping us learn, right? Y'all, this problem is so multifaceted, bro. It's the education system's fault, social media's fault, probably parents' faults for not, taking away video game. Y'all, when I'm yapping, y'all. That's what I do on this channel. When I was growing up, man, it wasn't. There was no, hey, man, you can play video games on the weekend. That's it. It wasn't no tablet during the week, no Nintendo, no PlayStation during the week. Y'all, it's the parents' faults. It's the older brother, older sister's faults. The guardian, whoever's in charge. It's everybody's fault, man. That the younger people can't read. It's sad, bro.
With all that swirling around in my head, it made me ask, what the hell's happening to our brains? Or let's be honest, what the hell's happening to my brain? I mean, is it the fucking phones?
Yes.
Fucking TikTok?
Yes.
Gravitational pull of the newsfeed? Or is there some deeper force at play? In this video, we're gonna dive into the science of trying to understand what is destroying our ability to focus and our ability to read. And some of it is probably some of the stuff that you suspected, but some of it is stuff that you've never considered before. And at the end, I'm gonna give you, and by you, I mean me, some practical tips to get your attention span back and how you can start enjoying reading the big books again. In 2023, Netflix VP of Product Todd Yellen said that their data showed something new and troubling, that viewers were deciding whether to watch a television show within 7 seconds of the first episode starting. That's shorter than it takes me to find the remote. As a result, Netflix has told their producers to begin crafting their shows to start mid-action, with someone screaming or maybe an explosion or a dead body or two. Then there's the Associated Press. In the early 2000s, a standard AP article was around 800 words long. That's roughly 3 pages. By 2014, the recommended length dropped to 500 words. That's 2 pages. And by 2019, their editorial guidelines suggested only 300 words, or 1 page. Their executive editor spelled it out in a memo. Readers have changed, so we have to change. That's fancy editor speak for people have the attention spans of a fucking goldfish, so now we are going to write articles for goldfish.
That's sad too, y'all, because I mean, you guys ever just research anything random? This literally happened to me yesterday. I was like researching Gilgamesh and like Nephilims or whatever. And every like online article just had like 3 sentences of info. I'm like where am I supposed to look, man? Like if I want to actually learn about this topic. It's hey man.
Most of us intuitively feel that we can't focus on anything longer than a cat video, and that's because we are constantly deluged with a never-ending stream of bullshit into our eye holes. According to one 2021 study, the average smartphone user checks their phone around 58 times a day, or approximately once every 15 minutes. The American Psychological Association said that in 2021, around 53% of US adults struggle to concentrate on anything for extended periods of time because of stress, burnout, or just constant digital distractions. So if you're on page 30 of a book and you hear your phone ding, that storyline you were just sinking into is toast. Most people see this as a colossal failure of human willpower, but I actually think that that's the wrong way to look at it. It's more accurate to think of attention as a finite resource. When there's little information coming in, our attention gets allocated to a few things, allowing us to go deep and spend lots of time with one thing at a time. But when there are thousands of pieces of stimulation coming in, our attention becomes fragmented and is spread thin across them all. We must choose what to pay attention to, thus causing our threshold for being willing to switch our attention to something else to be incredibly low. Everything is a war for attention and our minds are the battlefield. And guess who usually comes out on the losing end of that attention war? Books. But here's the twist. Researchers emphasize that while we seem scattered, we can still focus for hours on end. Hello, binge watching an entire season of Stranger Things in one sitting. It's not that our brains can't pay attention, it's that our modern tech has trained us to multi-track. We see the phone lighting up or that next recommended video, so our default becomes quick hits of dopamine, quick bursts of engagement. Reading a thick, meaty book, by contrast, demands that we sink into one idea for multiple hours. And if you're used to flipping from app to app, that can feel like torture, temporarily. But we'll get to how to turn the clock back on that later on in the video. In the meantime, the bottom line is we're not literally evolving goldfish brains. We just live in an environment that fires dopamine bullets at us all day, every day, making it really hard to choose a quiet hour or two with a book.
Right. If I had to guess, I mean, he's going to give the solution and the advice, but if I had to guess what that is, you basically have to cut off, whatever is taking up, all your time, messing up your attention span. Delete the TikTok app. Delete Instagram, set time limits, or you know what, even better, have somebody else set a time limit for you. That way you can't disable the time limit. Right, because I got time limits on Twitter, on Instagram, and I just disable it. Somebody else give somebody else the password. Just choose not to delay gratification versus instant gratification. We've all heard of that. Choose the harder thing. Choose the thing that takes more time. It's simple. Are we gonna do it? No.
Basically, we're out of practice, and it's showing. But what if we could use that same technology to put ourselves into practice? What if we could leverage technology to make us even more focused and in flow? Well, that's exactly what the sponsor of this video does, Brain FM.
Brain FM, man.
Only different neither is Brain FM stands for I don't. Which of these two?
All right, let's get back into it. Can you have too much cereal?
Let's do an experiment. I want you to think which of these two cereals would be more delicious. Now, chances are you have a preference between these two, and it's relatively simple. But imagine if magically I had 10 boxes of cereal. Now pick the most delicious.
Well, out the gate I was going Captain Crunch, but now I'm either gonna go Frosted Flakes or Cocoa Krispies.
This one. It's a little bit more complicated, right? Research shows that in this scenario, when you're actually have more options to choose from, you're gonna be less satisfied with your final choice. This is widely known as the paradox of choice. And in a world optimized for optionality, it actually makes sense why we're both A, crippled with indecision, and B, perpetually dissatisfied with whichever decision we inevitably make. Now, the crazy part about the paradox of choice is that it often causes people to forego doing anything at all. In a study often called the jam study, researchers found that when shoppers had 24 flavors of jam to choose from, they were less likely to buy any jam at all than when they were only offered 6. This is just—
my fault, y'all. I sped it up a little bit, but I was gonna pause it and say, like, do y'all ever come across this problem once your work is done for the day or for the week or whatever, right? And now, okay, do I want to watch a YouTube video? Do I want to play my Nintendo? Right? Do I want to watch a YouTube video while I'm playing my Nintendo? Do I want to play the Nintendo while I'm watching Twitch instead of watching YouTube? Do I want to go hang out with my friends? Do I want to see? Yeah. I suffer from the paradox of choice, man. I suffer from that, definitely.
one of many ways
and
that
then I just end up staying home and laying down, and then I wake up and it's Monday, and then it's time to work again. So
can actually backfire. And it raises some real philosophical conundrums. Now apply this to books. We have literally millions of books available to us with a few clicks of a button. So much like cereal, this one sucks. We're never satisfied with the choice that we make.
Wait, hold on.
This one sucks.
I'm gonna leave him alone because his video is interesting, but ain't no way he just said Frosted Flakes suck. I'm not disliking this video either, but he's out of pocket.
We're never satisfied with the choice that we make. So we skim, we dabble, and then eventually
Man, he out of pocket
we read
for
a
that.
chapter or two and then we give up. If a book doesn't hook you by chapter 2, you think, well, there's an ocean of other books out there. Maybe the next one is my soulmate read. The huge buffet of choice leads you to graze but not digest. But wait, it gets worse, and no, I'm not talking about the cereal. So let's say you figure out your phone problem and you manage your cereal box insanity. You know which books you want to read and you don't feel the FOMO to read anything else in print. even then, there's a good chance that you might still be too damn tired to read. Burnout is a phenomenon that has become so normal that it's almost weird to not feel exhausted these days. According to Gallup's 2022 report, around 76% of people experience burnout at least sometimes, and about 28% say that they're burnt out all the time.
Jesus.
Part of this is the nature of modern digital work. Cal Newport introduced the concept of slow productivity in his book of the same name, which, by the way, I fucking read cover to cover. Now, he argued that the standard knowledge worker approach, little tasks scattered across your day, 1,000 little Slack threads, constant email pings, this creates a continual overhead tax on your brain. Even when you log off for the day, you never really log off mentally. There's always some sort of message that you should check or a project that's lurking in the back of your mind. And these thoughts and worries will eat up your mental RAM. It's kind of like leaving 30 tabs open in your browser. That's your brain right now, draining the battery life in the background. We inevitably try to keep up by bouncing from one micro task to the next, rarely diving deep into any of them. And by the end of the day, when you finally do want to read for leisure, your brain is like a gray matter souffle. And in that scenario, reading sounds about as fun as chugging on a pint of dish soap. The American Institute of Stress notes that sustained high stress impairs our ability to concentrate and remember details of things. So if you do force yourself to read after a long, stressful day, it's likely that you're gonna forget half of what you just read, meaning you need to go back and read the same page again and again and again. The result? Frustration, even less inclination to keep going. Cue the Netflix binge and doom scrolling Instagram for the night. Now,
How about this though, y'all? I don't know if he because you can't really cover every topic as far as like why people aren't reading. But I was gonna say this, man. I feel like, and I might be wrong, but I feel like books are not as ingrained in the culture as they once were. Like like even within media, right? Because we've had phones, we've had social media for a while. Well, at least, you know, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, man, I feel like there were a lot more movies, and just like pieces of media that were based on books. You know, you had the Percy Jackson movies, right? Hunger Games, Harry Potter, you know, Maze Runner. Like I can't sit here and name everything, but you had a lot of stuff in the media that was popular, that was based on books. I feel like we don't really have that as much as we did, even, you know, 10, 15 years ago. And so maybe it's not even just a matter of our attention spans being messed up, or, you know, we're too tired or too exhausted. It's just that we've kind of excluded books from the media as well. Not just like read the act of reading them, but like there's no this based on a true story based on this book, or at least not as much as it once was, right?
look, I do creative work for a living, so there are days I can handle 20 different script ideas, 10 different email threads, 3 Zoom meetings, and bang out a video like this one all in the same afternoon. And by evening, my brain is hitting the reset button. I might still want to read, but I open a book and I stare at it for like 2 minutes, realize I've reread the same paragraph 3 times, and then default to YouTube or something else that requires zero cognitive effort. If that's you, trust me, you're not alone. This is the modern brain, battered by notifications, half-baked by to-do lists, and a permanent sense that we're behind on something. Reading, by contrast, demands a singular focus, an increasingly scarce resource. But don't worry, there's hope. But first, I actually have a little bit of a spicy take here that you may or may not agree with.
Is it getting worse?
Look, I get all these arguments. Hell, I've been hearing about our dwindling attention span since I was in college, which, that was a long time ago. But I persevered. I survived the birth of the internet, kids. I lived through the emergence of social media. I made it work with my smartphone. Through all of those years, I read heavy-ass books. But in the last 6 to 12 months, something has changed. It's basically wrecked any ability I have to finish a long nonfiction book. You may know where this is going. I'm talking about AI. I'm using it every day, almost constantly. And the more I rely on it, the less patience I have for reading a big doorstop of a nonfiction book. Think about it. A book might be 300 pages with maybe 50 to 60 pages of pure gold and 250 pages of the author's bullshit filler. Come on, we all know it's true, but guess what? AI can take you straight to the 50 pages of gold, over and over and over again. And if you're like me, then suddenly, now when you try to read, your brain starts saying, wait, why am I bothering with this section? Why do I want to read this chapter? Why do I care about this guy's life story? And boom, phone comes back out. Next thing I know, I'm talking to ChatGPT. And this is way different than TikTok or the smartphone or hell, even the internet in general. Yes, those things are all distracting, but they weren't distracting you with good information. They were distracting you with bullshit. AI, on the other hand, isn't distracting me from the book. I actually feel like AI is teaching me more than most books. So honestly, I'm not even sure I feel bad about this. I love books. Books have given me everything I have in my life. I've got a big ass library at home full of them. I've even written a few of them, if you haven't noticed. But maybe it's inevitable that the book as we know it is on the road to being supplanted by something more agile, more personalized, and less linear. If I can get my research fix in a hyper-targeted way, my ADHD-laced brain is gonna be happy. Why read 200 pages on marketing strategy when a chatbot can spit out the key concepts, references, and examples and apply it to my business personally in a matter of minutes? That's the real reason that I suspect.
Right. And like I said, he's not speaking from the perspective of like not being able to read at all. He's speaking of like not wanting to read. And you know, it kind of, the problem isn't, he doesn't really suffer from the problem as much as he stated, bro, because he grew up, he probably about 40 something. He grew up in a way different age than kids are living in now. So, you know, all the lessons and the extra reading that he did, and you know, all the stuff that seemed, you know, non-important, that doesn't really seem that important to him now. Like kids aren't, I don't know how to articulate it, y'all, but kids are not like, they're not, my bad, y'all, I got interrupted. I literally forgot where I was going. We just gonna finish the video off.
That reading is hitting a new low, or at least is about to. And it's not reading per se, it's books. Books as a technology are the undefeated champions of knowledge transference for more than 500 years. But that might actually be changing. So what do we do now? Do we just bury our books in the backyard, build an altar to AI, and sacrifice a goat to the great algorithm? Well, hold up. If you want to read more books, and there are still plenty of books that you should be reading, there are ways to reclaim that focus. First off, a big misconception. Once your attention span is fried, it's gone forever. That is garbage. Your attention is like a muscle. Right now, you might be sprinting from one app to another like a chihuahua in a crack house, but with the right exercises, you can slow down and get that deeper concentration back. And second, you should want your attention span back, because the longer your attention span, the more effective you will be at creative tasks, problem solving, and the less likely you will be to suffer from burnout. So here are some practical ways that you can actually get that attention span back. Digital detox time blocks. You've heard this before, but it's worth repeating. Choose a specific window, maybe an hour, maybe a day, maybe a week. Turn the fucking phone off, or at least put it in do not disturb mode. Delete a bunch of apps. Keep it physically outside of your reach. And during that block, commit to no screens. And then go read War and Peace like a good little boy.
Hold on, y'all. How long y'all think he was sitting here meditating? Let me set this camera up for 30 seconds and then, come on, y'all.
In that block, commit to no screens. And then go read War and Peace like a good little boy or girl. Or go for a walk. See people. You know, like be face to face like a happy human. Over time, extend these blocks if you can. Comfy chair, comfy mind strategy. Reading in bed while half asleep and mentally drained might be setting yourself up for failure. Try creating a reading zone, idea. A cozy chair by a window, or somewhere with minimal noise. Bring a drink of choice, you know, coffee or tea or like a Red Bull and vodka, and then make reading a ritual that you experience for pleasure and not just a chore. then you're gonna be more likely to stick with it. Set micro targets and reward yourself. Instead of saying, I need to read 50 pages every day or I'm a fucking loser, try 5 pages. Then celebrate finishing that small goal by, I don't know, get up, grab a snack, do some stretches. A lot of us sabotage ourselves with giant, unrealistic reading goals. A series of small wins leads to bigger wins down the line. Book clubs or reading buddies. Accountability is everything. Find a friend, in real life or online, and pick a book to read together. Discuss it once a week. That social pressure can push you to keep turning pages when you've otherwise quit and binged random cooking shows on YouTube. So yes, our technology has changed how we consume information. And yes, AI can distill knowledge into quick bullet points, but there's still that special magic in letting an author's ideas invade and soak themselves in your brain, watching them unfold slowly page by page, especially if the writer's got some perspectives and insights that can enrich your life in a way that summaries can't. So if you miss reading books like I do, and you miss that satisfying feeling of finishing a book and thinking, wow, that was actually worth it, try these steps, because you can recondition your brain. And in a world that's always pushing for faster, shorter, more, maybe the real power move is to slow down.
Hey man, shout out to Mark Manson right here. Like I said, you guys, I really wish he talked a little bit more about like people literally not being able to read instead of not wanting to read. Nonetheless, man, this is a pretty good video. Check out his channel. As always, it's your boy TwoCentz. Say it with me, TCZ. We out.